every day. Oh, in the city of the Zuma, for every man and woman, nation's capital. So we're standing tall. It's the city of the Zuma, for Pupa and Numa, nation's capital. So we're standing tall. There is freedom, no segregation. Welcome to the city of my president.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to another episode of Dateline Abuja on AIT. I'm Hawa Momo. It's good to be back after the short holiday. According to the World Health Organization, there were an estimated 229 million cases of malaria worldwide, and an estimated number of malaria deaths stood at 409,000. Malaria is a life-threatening disease caused by mosquitoes, as we all know. While still in the spirit of eradicating malaria from Africa, the World Health Organization and United Nations partners with Ned Nwoko Foundation in eradicating malaria in Africa. They pledge to support and combat malaria in Africa. Let's take a listen. United Nations, World Health Organization, partners with Ned Nwoko Malaria Eradication Project. According to the latest World Malaria Report released on the 30th November 2020, there were 229 million cases of malaria in 2019 compared to 228 million cases in 2018. The estimated number of malaria deaths stood at 409,000 in 2019 compared to 411 deaths in 2018. As part of efforts to eradicate malaria in Africa, the United Nations coordinator in Nigeria, Edward Cullen, WHO Nigerian representative Walter Gazadi Mulumbu, and Ned Nwoko have said eliminating malaria in Africa requires a consistent approach by the government and society. The trio discussed the malaria project, and Edward Cullen, the United Nations coordinator, suggests succinctly that it is a laudable and noble engagement, but a whole lot of orientation and attitudinal change is required for a successful implementation, and assures to keep working and pushing to help the WHO to push ideas forward. This was the outcome of a courtesy visit to collaborate on eradication of malaria project in Africa, Ned Nwoko Malaria Eradication Project at his hometown, Idumuje Ugoko, Delta State.
COVID vaccines were discovered by these hardworking scientists without really knowing the source of COVID. But unlike malaria, we know it is because of mosquito bites. Why is it that we have never, as a continent, considered it feasible to eradicate malaria through the elimination of mosquitoes? So for me, it is something that we have to do. But of course, I can only do so much. WHO, you have your work cut out for yourself. So we can only partner with you in whatever ways that is possible to make sure that this scourge is dealt with.
And one of the reasons why African governments are not investing in these areas is the priorities are so many that they cannot really prioritize investment in malaria. And the biggest weakness we have is that the private sector has not come in the way we expected them to come in. So that is one of the noble aspects of Ned's vision that I really admire, how the private sector can actually come to work with the public sector, bring in the whole concept of whole of society and whole of government to promote a strategic approach towards eradication of malaria.
WHO believes that it's possible to eradicate malaria in this generation. So I applaud this initiative and really encourage your foundation and the researchers are involved to move ahead.
The World Health Organization Nigerian representative Walter Gazadi Mulumbu, in his speech, believes it is possible to eradicate malaria in this generation, saying it makes sense to engage on the initiative. Walter suggests the need to adopt other biological strategies in fighting the malaria vector, which is mosquitoes, says RTSS vaccine is a pure promise in Nigeria and other African countries. The goal of this project is to accelerate the attainment of malaria-free Nigeria and adopt a same model in other African countries. The story cycle never stops. People get information everywhere on various platforms at almost no cost. But what's important as stories with value forward towards reviving the educational system lies in the hands of the government.
The odds are that only a few persons may be able to answer correctly.
Depth and objective.
People are not coming out to say that they're depressed, they're not talking about it. Your schools, the things that make a community.
In 30 minutes, we will deliver what you need to know about the current affairs, trends, stories within the FCT and its environment.
The trends, the truths, the stories on Dateline Abuja with Hawamomo on AIT.
Welcome back. In the spirit of the just concluded Democracy Day in the country, the moods, energies, and vibrations from the citizens are uncertain and filled with mixed reactions. Some people came out to protest on the rising threat of insecurity and bad governance, while others stayed indoors. Well, we spoke to some residents about their moods in the country's state of nation. Let's take a look.
I think it is something very pathetic. We are not happy. We are not happy. We promise us each government that will come, they promise us things will be better. We'll do this, but things are getting worse and worse and worse as the day goes by. The youth doesn't see work to do. When you even go to school, you don't, after schooling, you don't see the work to do. Those that are in the government, most of them have been in government over 34 years, 35 years, 40 years, yet none of them even care to go out.
People are suffering. Everything went on high side. Short, if you go to some rural places, even we at Abuja now, we are not feeling well because of the atrocities that is happening within our country. So government should do something better so that the country will be revived to its normal place. You understand?
Well, the state of the nation, comparing the last democracy to the present, the one that was celebrated yesterday, there is a big difference. Things are not going well in Nigeria. That's the reality. For instance, the economy is biting hard on the citizen, and it is expected that things are supposed to be on the positive note, but the reality and the truth is things are not going well with the citizen of Nigeria. Take for instance the insecurity. The insecurity has created a lot of fear on every Nigerian. Traveling has become a terror on the road. So things are not going on a positive note. That's the truth.
Concerning the state of Nigeria, honestly, Nigeria has gone bad, if I should say. Because, for example, things that we normally buy, I'm talking about the cost of things now, the high price, things just went up overnight. Things that we do buy 12,000 naira a bag suddenly is now 44,000. Everything has just increased Honestly, I think this government should look into it because everything has gone high. House rent, everything is so high. You will see some people, they don't even have money to eat, because of the government. It's really affecting us and it's not good for this nation.
Well, the suggestion I can make for the federal government is to look into the plight of the citizen. They should look into the plight of the as in looking into the economy. The economy is biting hard. The federal government of Nigeria should, the Federal Executive Council should take, they should just take a look into the problem by aiding and helping the poor citizens. I know they are trying. That's the truth. So it's not going to be true to say that they are not trying, but their effort is not yielding results.
If the government want to impact on the nation, on the citizens, they should come down and listen to the citizens and know what to do. They should come down and listen to us.
The prices of goods are going up. They should try to look. For instance, what we buy for 1,000 naira last year is like times 3 this year. So what can they do is to look into the economy team and find a way of reducing the bites, because that's the major way by which the citizen can appreciate the effort of the government. If the things are easy to buy in the market, they won't be complaining.
What I can advise the government is that any good government must carry the masses along, because the masses are the majority. But what we are seeing is that a kind of selection of big men are on their own, governing the country, and nothing is moving.
Discussing the mood of the nation today I have Dr. Odiakpo Obire. He's the president, Good Leadership Advocacy for Africa. You're welcome to Dateline Abuja.
Thank you for having me.
So today we're discussing the state of the nation. We talked about it earlier on, the mood of the nation. We know with all that is happening, citizens are not happy. It's been mixed feelings everywhere. Let's talk about possible solutions. We always say we remain hopeful. Let's start with insecurity, which is the number one major challenge we have right now in the country.
Well, the primary assignment of every government is to ensure that the people are safe and their properties are protected. But at a point where the citizens are worried that such is not happening, then it tilts towards having a failed system in governance. And governance is not just about the federal alone, because everybody look up to, Buhari is doing this, Buhari is doing that. Governance is in 3 tiers. You have the local government, you have the state, and the federal government. We also have people that are responsible for representing our interests at the state houses of the assembly, the National Assembly. Even in local government, we have councillors who are supposed to be addressing issues that arise when it comes to governance. But the system we are operating hasn't really given that the people that faith in governance. We've had bad leadership in the past, and we still believe that a lot of our leaders today are not still living up to expectation of the people's desire. When we talk about insecurity, is a terrible thing, because where there is peace, development can take place. But where there are insecurities here and there, it's not a good sign, even to those that we are yearning for to come and invest in our country. Where there are insecurity issues, it also stays people away and put off their interest in coming to Nigeria to do even business that will create employment, that will increase the economic response, but where there are insecurities is a different ballgame altogether. And I think it is time for the government to, those that are saddled with responsibility of leadership, to wake up to the that responsibility that they swore to hold. And it's not, nobody is forcing anything into anybody's throat, but we must call a spade a spade. A lot is going on in this country. Killings upon killings daily, and this is not what anybody looked forward to from leadership. Human life is like nothing at the moment in this country. People are picked daily from the street as if you are picking snails in the bush. It doesn't make sense. We can no longer travel 10, 15 kilometers without having that fear that you might be kidnapped, you might be killed, you might be robbed. So we're not safe. Nobody is safe. Even the security agencies that are supposed to be protecting us are not even safe.
But you agree that they are doing their own bits. At least while traveling on the road, you see, roadblocks here and there, police checkpoints. What are we lacking? What do you think the security forces are lacking?
I want to say that there have to be political will to stop some certain happenings.
Are you saying that there's no political will?
I'm saying there is no political will to some extent, because when we bring politics into issues of security, it's a terrible thing. This is something that everybody should come to the table of discussion and say, look, we must stop this menace, right? But as we speak, some people are making money every day from kidnapping people and settling them. Some people are making money every day from the crises that are happening here or happening there. So how will this crisis end? How will this insecurity end when people are not seeing that negative impact of it in the system, but what comes to them? These are the issues. We have cases in this country where we see top security leaders looting or even stealing from what they are supposed to use to acquire arms and all that. We see them, we read them every day. They are being tried here and there. But the issue is, how do we stop that? Because there is no political will. They don't have that will because they are gaining from it. So people must look inward. We must look inward and say, no, enough is enough. If it's not happening in your house today, it's happening in your neighbor's house. Someday it will go round. Very soon we will not be able to be moving up and down because of the level of insecurity. So must we continue like this? We can't continue this way.
So apart from the political will you just talked about, what else do you think the government can do to support or fight against insecurity? Because we know that the cases are alarming. Terrorism, what's the happenings in the southeast right now? Everybody's scared. People are locked. People have closed businesses. People are afraid to come out. Fear of lives, properties, and it's like the people are even afraid to believe, or people lack faith or hope from the government or our leaders. So if there's no hope in the leadership, what can the people do?
Well, it's beginning to get to a point where people will want to protect themselves, right? Because if this security architecture of the government is not protecting the lives and property of the people,
which is the sole responsibility of government.
So what happens? The people take laws into their hands sometimes. The people go to an extent to protect themselves, their family, and all that. And that's why you see a lot of clashes here and there. we must, nobody wins the war at the front. Every war ends at a negotiation table. I believe that there are people, they just need to figure who these people are. People are fueling this.
You believe people are fueling?
Yes. Unknown gunmen cannot just wake up and every day all you hear is unknown gunmen. People are giving them arms. People are funding them. People are, in fact, there are people behind these unknown gunmen. So we must look at, you see, everybody is angry.
Everyone.
At this point now,
Yeah.
the whole country, everybody is angry, right? Okay, what are they doing wrong? What can be done to make things right? Our leaders need to wake up. Tell themselves the truth. Then this whole thing can end. They need to sit down, discuss their political differences, discuss the areas that is affecting or creating the crisis that we are seeing today. We need to look at it holistically. When somebody kidnaps someone, it's unheard of. How do you kidnap 300 people? It's unheard of. Are you getting it? But it's happening today. They go into school compounds, they kidnap children, over 200, 300, and they start negotiating human beings as if you are buying okra and pepper in the market. It doesn't make sense. And when you continue to negotiate, you continue to pay ransoms, it becomes a business.
Yeah.
And that's what is seeming right now. They will kidnap today, they will negotiate, pay ransom. The government say some governors said they will not pay ransom, and that now push that to the family of those that were kidnapped. You heard it in Kaduna, where the parents were saying they paid so amount of money. You can imagine that pressure is on the parents. How would you send your child to school? Then the next thing is, as your child is in school, start looking for money to pay ransom in case they kidnap that child. What kind of thing is this? What mindset, even those children that are in school, in fact, for them to go to school is a problem.
Before we go, we just, on this program, this is something we always do, is always to give hope to citizens. We know the mood of the nation is not, with all that is happening right now, nobody's smiling. But we remain hopeful. We always remain hopeful. We want to use this opportunity to also remind Nigerians that Plan B, the grass is not always greener on the other side. You
cannot leave your comfort zone to become a slave in another place because there is peace there. What we need to do is to have faith in our country. If you have faith in your country, you want it to work, right? But because people has lost faith in their country, we shouldn't lose faith now. We don't have another country. Let's sit down together. It's not running away. Running away doesn't make... Will you carry everybody? So running away will not solve this problem.
Plan B will not...
Plan B is not the solution to this. We need to have faith first. Wake up from our slumber and say, this is a fight that we must fight to protect our nation. It is our country. We are the ones that will make it better or not. So, but if we all stand up and say, yes, let us make Nigeria work.
We remain optimistic and resilient people. While we can't avoid many of our problems and challenges, we are open, flexible, and willing to adapt to change. And we pray for a better tomorrow. Thanks for being part of Dateline Abuja. Please follow any of our social media handles showing right now on your TV screen for more information or repeat broadcasts. Keep it to me, same time, same station. I'm Hawa Momo. Stay safe.
Many rivers to cross, and it's only my will alive. I've been lit, washed up for years, and I merely survive because of my pride.